Fifthly, that we have to understand and be conscious that when we speak about vision and priorities, I know it is easier sometimes to say, and it may be to some extent true, that we say that part of our diversity is that we have differing priorities. Okay? However, I beg to have just a little bit of qualifier for that. Why? Because I believe that when we speak about priorities in the broader sense, as an ummah, is it more important now to argue about the length of the beard or to look at the basic death and destruction that is being wreaked on Muslims in different parts of the world? So that as a broad priority should be acceptable and general among all. But that does not say that when we come to specifics that we do have differing priority. And in the past, having observed MSA evolving into ISNA and now, all the variety of organizations, that oftentimes the immigrant Muslims are not totally aware of what, for example, the African American Muslims have gone through and is going through. So the kind of attention and topics and issues that you find in Jum'ah or addressed by immigrant Muslims might be far away from the kind of interest and day-to-day problems, all kinds of problems that the other community is encountering day in and day out. I'm not saying because some people are not sympathetic, that some might be, but maybe because they have not gone through that experience. You can hear all lectures all night, but not until you live it. Then you can't really appreciate it. The experiential element of it is not there. It is in that sense then that when, for example, a great Imam, a beloved brother above all to me, like Imam Siraj, led the effort to purify the area around At-Taqwa Masjid from drug dealers and so on. Maybe the Muslims living in the suburb probably cannot conceive even of what drugs, they might not know even what drugs except what they prescribe to in the farm, So this is the issue, like I say. In that sense, in specific areas, the priorities might be different. However, even if we have different priorities, specific priorities, we should all have one unified vision. We can have priorities. That's useful. That's fine. People with more expertise in some area, they can address. The others can support them because they know more about these specific problems. But we should have one vision. And we have to realize that the Quran invites us all. It's not a politically correct thing to say unite, unite. We hear it a lot. When the Quran speaks about unity, it presents it as a command and warns us about violating that command. As a command, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold tight, all of you, not some of you or a group of you or privileged group. No. Hold all of you tight to the rope of Allah and be not divided. But there are consequences for that division, and the Quran also gives us this warning. وَلَا تَنَازَعُوا فَتَفْشَلُوا وَتَذْهَبَ رِيحُكُمْ وَاصْبِرُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. Don't get into disputation. Differing opinion, fine. Debate it, fine. But disputation is different. Tanazu, hating each other because we differ in opinion or this or that. No. Because the consequences says, فَتَفْشَلُوا. You will fail. And your strength will be gone.